Welcome to Bodyholic with D. This is episode number 26. My name is D. Katz-Shachar, and I am a public health promoter. I've attained my MPH from Tel Aviv University on the research track, and I'm a fitness trainer with over 17 years of experience, and I hold specializations in corrective exercise, women's fitness, and Pilates. I am the founder and trainer of Bodyholic, the global health and fitness platform and community, and I'm the author of the book, Rip It Up for Good. This podcast is a part of my effort and mission as a public health professional because I believe that real science-based information and knowledge is power, and my job in this life is to empower you. I want you to have high and sustained energy throughout the day, and I want you to feel better than you have ever felt before, during, and after your workouts, in and out of your clothing, and not only physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. In today's episode, I once again hang out with my friend and colleague, Daniel Herman. He is the founder of Biosynergy, which launched in 1997. He's a qualified nutritionist, an SAQ coach, and as you will see once again, he's a person who is super passionate about all things health and fitness. This is a very special episode because we decided to basically dive into the Biosynergy DNA kit and show you how it works. Here's what happened. Daniel and I met up for a conference in Germany just a couple of months ago, and he brought over the Biosynergy DNA kit for me to try out because I was getting really, really curious about it. And then I said to him, you know what? I'm not going to look at the results at all. I want you to break it all down for me live right here on the podcast, and I'm okay with anything embarrassing that just may come up. Mostly because I really do think it's important to show and see how it works. I won't go on, and I'm not going to give you too much of an intro because Daniel's going to do that himself, except to say that this is definitely one of the most fun episodes I've had because, again, it's me just talking to a friend, and we are both very, very passionate about the same subjects. And I think you might have fun kind of hanging out with us too. So let's dive in, and I'll let Daniel take it from here. Enjoy.
Or publish them, and yeah.
Yeah, I was actually going to share them on the internet with your phone number, address.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
Daniel Herman, I'm so happy to have you back. How are you?
I'm pleased to be back. Obviously, since we last spoke, you've gone from being mini pregnant to major pregnant. So, baby on the way. And now we can see what, if anything, your soon-to-be child is going to inherit from you from a DNA perspective.
Right. So what we're doing today is we're going through my DNA kit that went through the Biosynergy testing. Do you want to just say a few words about that before we reveal my life to everyone? Yes.
So this is the DNA and epigenetics kit, available at all good leading stores. And basically, we have been in the sports nutrition industry for over 26 years. And what we've always wanted to do is give people the ability to live their best life and to make it happen. So we used to use questionnaires and things like that. And the problem with the questionnaires is not personalized. And a massive problem for people who are looking to get fit and healthy is where to start. So often they'll read a blog or a newspaper article or a magazine article, or they'll ask their friends. And all of those things might be accurate, but it'll be accurate for a specific person. And it won't necessarily give the tailored advice and therefore work for the individual who's looking to make that change. So by taking a DNA test, what you're able to do, and hopefully we'll see that in a minute, is get a real insight into you and what things you should be doing and what you should be eating, what supplements, if any, you might need, and what kind of risks you might have coming down the line that you can start preventing now to ensure that you live your optimum life, and also to keep you engaged in fitness. So a lot of the time people will start a fitness regime, and maybe it's a particular diet or exercise plan, and it doesn't work. and they think, oh, it's me. It's not working because of me.
Right.
I'm never going to get fit and healthy. And actually, it's because that particular plan or regime isn't tailored for them. So it might be metabolically and biologically, they're different to everybody else's work for. So they actually fall out of love with fitness, maybe even have mental health issues as a result of it, and are not going to be optimizing their health and well-being. So what we want to do is get rid of all that kind of confusion, that clutter, and give people the opportunity really to bark a lot like my dog, or to just live their best life. So I'm really excited. I've never done this before. It's like opening a box on somebody's life and finding out how or why they are how they are. So what we would generally like to see is some things that are reinforcing what you probably think you already know, some kind of what I call light bulb moments, so things you would never have thought. And then also within that, something that you can take action of today, which will change your life immediately. So I think without further ado.
No, wait. Let's
okay,
for a moment. Let's do for. I just want to say, like, I want to be very clear for everybody on what's about to happen. So I decided that because Daniel and I wanted to do an episode about the DNA kit, and then I decided that like the best way to do it is actually just going through the results. And I want to be really clear. I have not seen the results yet. I've done the DNA testing, and the first time that I'm receiving the results is right now through Daniel, which normally you would get in the app. But I actually sent the result, kind of like someone who doesn't want to look at their grade and have someone else read it to them. So I sent my results over to Daniel, and I'm finding this all out for the first time. So I'm scared. Actually, I'm nervous, and I'm like in advance embarrassed.
Okay, well, let's hope there's some embarrassing stuff in there. That'd be great, because that's much more exciting. So right, I'm gonna, obviously you've sent me the PDF, which anybody can do that. You know, you can download it securely into your inbox, and then if you want, you can forward it on as you've done. So hang on, that's something weird in my face. Let's just jump to page 11, which is kind of like a summary of your results. And I think we should just go through them and just see like wow or not. So the first thing that comes out is you've got an increased risk of vitamin D deficiency. So even though you live in a nice hot country, actually you're vitamin D deficient. So you could benefit, you know, if you want, maybe you've already got it in your cupboard, from a vitamin D supplement. So
I do. I have it in my cupboard. I should start using it.
Excellent. So the good news is you don't need it. You don't need vitamin A. You don't need iron or magnesium or potassium or selenium. The next thing that you've got an increased risk of, which is interesting, particularly as you're in your current state of pregnancy, is folate. So
no kidding.
Obviously, or I'm assuming, as you are a conscientious mum to be, you're probably supplementing with folic acid, which is not only helping your little baby that's growing inside of you, but actually will be helping you as well. So keep up the good work with the folate. Selenium, this is also quite a common deficiency and one that you've got. Now, the other thing, and actually I share this with you, is I don't know what your diet's like, but omega-3 would be beneficial to you.
I take it on and off because I don't like the aftertaste. Like I have the best kind, and I just,
So that would be something that you could benefit from. BCAAs you would benefit from. So
that doesn't surprise me.
I use them every day. Choline, no. Glutamine would be beneficial, which is another amino acid. And interestingly, we had last spoke about creatine, and that would be some benefit for you. So the likelihood is it actually move from some benefit to a larger benefit, because all of these things are contextual. So, for example, if you lived outside in the sun and all you wore was a bikini, and you had a really rich vitamin D diet, you probably wouldn't need a vitamin D supplement.
Mm-hmm.
In reality, most people, certainly in the West, we spend a lot of time indoors and we don't tend to walk around in bikinis or have highly a diet that's rich in vitamin D. So therefore, the supplementation is beneficial. Here, where you've got the creating some benefits, that's just for well-being. That's not looking at you as an athlete or as a fitness person. So if your lifestyle is more active, or you're looking to put on muscle or improve performance and recovery, and also there's a lot of data around creatine and mental health, then that becomes contextually more beneficial. And the same with beta-alanine. So let's get into caffeine now. So
I want to say that so far, this is really, really interesting. I just learned a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't know about myself. I was sure you were just going to say that I'm good with everything. I'm not surprised about the vitamin D, but I feel very deficient right now. And you definitely gave me a motivational boost to do the omega-3, which I look at the bottle and I'm just like, I don't feel like it.
Yeah, so try and get a good one of those. So caffeine sensitivity, I don't know, maybe you can talk about this specifically. You've got a slight sensitivity to that?
I can tell. Yeah, I can't drink caffeine after 3 p.m.
So that's slight. Good news is your genetic bone mineral density is normal, which is great. But interestingly, I was having a conversation with somebody from NASA yesterday, and she dropped a knowledge bomb on me. What happens when you're having a baby? Your calcium goes down because you're giving that to the baby, and your bones get softer, and you get some kind of breakdown of your bone. And then, but naturally, as a woman, you're going to get that quicker post-pregnancy. So this was I didn't know this. So the good news is you've got normal density, but it might be that because you are currently pregnant, post-pregnancy, because you're normal rather than great, it might be a good idea for you to look at some calcium supplementation just to get you back to your normal level quickly. It's a good thing you exercise because your genetic obesity risk is actually increased, as is your type 2 diabetes, which is exactly the same as me. Yeah.
Wow. So I have an increased risk for diabetes, type 2, and for obesity.
Yes. So that means if you had a twin sister who was low risk of both of those, which could happen, and you both didn't exercise and both ate a poor diet, you would be more likely to get obese and get diabetes quicker than her. So it doesn't mean, again, all of these things are predispositions. It's not an outcome. So what it is hopefully saying, well, look, I now know I'm high risk of this. I'm already doing the right things, which you are. You're exercising regularly, you're eating well. So you're actually mitigating that outcome. Right. If, however, you weren't, it might give you that impetus to say, you know what, I am high risk. What can I do? And it might be changing the diet, doing some exercise. But equally, even if you were low risk, it doesn't mean you can't get these things. It just means that you don't have to work as hard to prevent them. So you're doing the right things. So the next thing let's go on to is, so interesting here. So this is stress. So apparently stress, you've got a slight risk. If you're under pressure, you're slightly more likely to be stressed out and to make a mistake. The good news is it doesn't seem to affect your memory or your ability to deal with things. The bad thing is stress may lead to a physical outcome. And I've actually, weirdly, your genes are so far quite similar to mine in some respects. which is not that
See,
weird.
we felt like we were connected, right?
Yeah.
There you go. We must
Genetically,
have similar ancestors.
Yeah, that's it. So I don't know, again, if you've experienced this, when you get stressed, you may get back or neck pain.
Yeah.
So that is that physical manifestation, which you're increased risk of. Equally, you've got a slight risk of that affecting the health of your heart. So you probably want to try and avoid as much as you can letting stress affect you.
Well, I think I'm pretty active with mindfulness, and I think exercise is a fantastic release for stress. So, very, very. This is fascinating. Okay.
So the good news is, though, if you do like coffee, despite your sensitivity, it's not going to be increasing your stress levels. So it might be having other effects. Maybe, you need to invest in more toilet paper, but it's not going to make you more stressed, other than the fact you're spending more toilet paper. But that's a different problem to have.
And which is fantastic, because I do love coffee very much. I still, in my pregnancy, have my 1 cup a day. This is as opposed to when I'm not pregnant, which is about 5 cups.
So going on to the caffeine, the next thing is the likelihood is that you shouldn't drink coffee at night because it will affect your sleep. I don't know if you found that.
100% true. Yeah. No, I can't. Like I said before, I can't drink it past 3 p.m. I literally will stay up for a day and a half.
So as she sips the coffee, kind of ironic there.
This is water.
Okay. I don't know. I'm going to ask you this as a leading question. Would you say you're more of a morning person or a night person?
I'm a morning person.
Good, because that's in your DNA. Night owl likelihood, not likely.
No, not at all. I'm the person that at 9 p.m., if I'm supposed to go out, I'm going to complain until I actually get there, and then I'm okay. But I really want to be in bed. Yeah.
So the good thing is, once you're in bed, you only need a normal level of sleep. And the likelihood of you waking up during the night is quite low. I mean, obviously it might be different at the moment, obviously.
Yeah, it might be different. Here's what's interesting. You might be right for me, like pre-momhood, but then once you have a kid, it's like your
extrasensory perception goes off the clock.
Your brain changes. Right, exactly.
Yeah. If you're stressed out, you might struggle getting to sleep as well, which I know, again, that's a massive thing for me. If I've got stuff whirring in my head and it's unresolved, I just can't sleep.
So what do you do? Do you roll over and write things down?
I just accept that I'm going to at some point fall asleep, or I get up and write notes down.
You do? Okay.
So if it's something that's going around in my head, I think if I get it on paper, maybe I can just box it off and go back to sleep, or I'll send myself a message or something. So that's how I deal with it. I don't know if that's.
By the way, I like what you said about accepting, because I think that people get into a loop, like they get stressed over not sleeping.
Yeah.
Once they're already stressed, now they're stressed over that, and then it's a loop. And just accepting the fact that, okay, at one point I'm going to fall asleep. That's like medication for that.
Yeah. So bad news, unless you take care of yourself, your physical decline with age is slightly faster. So if you think you look 5 years older, the likelihood is it may be the truth. But you're going to keep your marbles, and you're going to keep your strength. Yeah. You should. Keeping cognition with age, you're normal. Bone strength, normal. Back pain with aging, normal. Stress and aging, you want to avoid that again. There's a slight risk of the more stress you have, the faster you're going to look old. So more chamomile tea, that kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, chamomile tea is great.
Daniel, I'm going to start loading up on chamomile tea. I mean, because this is a sensitive subject. I think for many women, it's like the last thing I want is to look 5 years older than.
No. That's for the stress. Yeah. It's definitely for the stress. So.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Okay.
Do you ever suffer from low back pain?
If I'm not moving and if I'm not working out, then yes. But once I'm working out and moving, I'm good.
Well, you've got slight risk of that, and also bone and joint strength. Slight risk. Achilles tendinopathy. I don't think you're a runner, so that's kind of okay. But you've got an increased risk of that. So let's say your to-be son-daughter was going to be an athlete, and they were going to be a running athlete, and they had this predisposition, which is not necessarily guaranteed just because they're from you. You could then make interventions to help reduce that risk of that Achilles injury by prehab, rehab, warming up, etc., etc.
Yep. Very good.
So let's keep going here. I'm not going through everything. This is where you're very different to me. You've got normal duration when it comes to attention span. Mine is poor. So if anybody sees me falling asleep, it's kind of in my genes. You've got no excuse.
No, but I think it's odd. Like I can really, I never had a problem with that.
Good. Okay. So that's a great trait. Workaholic. Would you say you are or you're not one?
If I'm passionate about it, I get pretty obsessed.
Yeah. So you've got that as a trait. You're a possible workaholic. Going back to coffee or caffeine specifically, that can actually help you focus. So actually a small amount every day long before your bedtime, and not in copious amounts, is actually quite good for you if you're in the zone and looking to get something done. Memory wise, what would you say? Have you got good or bad memory?
I'm so worried about this, but actually, if I've got a lot of people in a session of mine and I'm going through all their names, I will sometimes forget. And I'll also sometimes forget if that person was in my class. But with incidences and things that people tell me, it's kind of insane how good my memory is.
Okay, well, you've actually got improved ability with dealing with memory tasks. So
good. Thank goodness.
If you were given a puzzle, so that means, if people are talking about Alzheimer's and things, obviously. So this would probably suggest that, and again, it's not a medical device. This is
right.
You're probably less likely to get it than somebody who's got, in my case, poor. No, I think actually I'm okay. But yeah, so the point is, if it was poor, you could say, right, I definitely need to be taking my Omegas. Maybe I should be doing like crosswords or jigsaw puzzles or things to help you with that memory task.
Yeah.
And then you can actually get those neurons firing and so on. So interestingly, relating back to your needing to go to bed early, your night productivity is poor. And
very true.
Like most people I've spoken to, other than it seems to be astronauts and athletes, you're a blend of warrior and worrier, which is probably what you want to be.
That's probably what I am. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's probably what I think most people can benefit from. You don't really want to be one extreme or the other. You want to be in the middle. So I think that's good. So this is interesting. We're getting onto gut health now. So what would you say? Again, I'm trying to test you against you.
No, I see. You're trying. I love what you're doing, because then we get to see the accuracy and
So gut wise, what would you any kind of perceptions about your own gut health or irritability or things like that?
I think thanks to the way I eat, I'm really comfortable 95% of the time. I think when I stray, I get pretty uncomfortable.
Okay, so that kind of is reflected. So gluten intolerance, your mild risk. Gut irritability, normal. Gut health, gum health, weirdly. I hope you brush your teeth every day. You're increased. So if you're
twice a day.
You need to floss and mouthwash as well now. and not just for the people around you, but for your own well-being.
Okay.
And again, stress affecting gut health. So this is a specific thing. So if you're particularly stressed, you've got a slightly higher risk of that affecting you. And then caffeine affecting your gut is low. So that's good. So the only thing really to look at, again, is avoid stress and rich food, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And I have a little bit of a gluten intolerance.
Yeah, potentially. But again, that can be dependent on other environmental factors. So this is really good news. I'm looking at your heart health here. And I think you said there was some family history of bad heart health, or was I imagining that with my poor memory?
Breast cancer. Because of your poor memory.
Your heart. Okay, so irregular heart rate, low risk. Genetic high blood pressure, normal. Salt causing high blood pressure, low. Cholesterol imbalance, no risk. Cardiovascular health issues, normal. So, happy days.
This is the kind of thing also when I get like a good blood report, I get so happy. Like I feel like I got a trophy, and I kind of want to show off. Like when that happens, I kind of want to show people my blood. Yeah. Okay.
Or your saliva. So health insights.
Right.
So looking at immunity now. Good immune function. Vitamin D, we've already said, beneficial. B vitamin would help your immune system. Selenium would help your immune system. Vitamin C is very beneficial for you. And inflammatory infection response, slightly abnormal. So the likelihood is if you did get ill, you're going to get some inflammation, obviously depending on what it is. So nothing to, good news is unlikely to get ill, but if you do, you're more likely to get a physical symptom of that. But overall, you're in pretty good shape from an immune point of view. Health. So we're looking at eye health first. And I think we can both agree, slightly faster decline with age.
Is that what it says there?
Yeah. Cataracts, normal. Open angle glaucoma, increased. So it doesn't, again, this is not going to happen. It just means
Right.
It means given a normal population, you're on the level where you're higher risk.
Right. And I would want to proactively avoid that. Yeah.
So again, there's probably things that, an optometrist could tell you what you could do, but it might be at some point, you just got to say, I'm going to have some eye surgery, maybe.
Right.
Eye health and B vitamin deficiency is increased. So maybe that's the intervention to start doing now, is start taking those B vitamins to help your eye health. Skin health. A lot of people are interested in this, particularly when it comes to aging. So let's try and think something that I'm trying to think of one of the things to ask you. Do you think sun damage, high, low, or normal?
It's interesting because also in my first pregnancy and also now, I have major pigmentation, like my face changes its color, and it's happening now. You probably can't see it through the camera, but it's like I've suddenly become like really freckled. So I'm wondering if I have a higher risk.
Okay, so sun damage is normal. Rate of skin aging, normal. Skin beta carotene conversion, slightly lower, nothing to worry about. Gluten-related skin condition risk, slight, which obviously goes back to this potential gluten intolerance. Likelihood of freckles, guess what? More likely.
Wow. Okay.
Collagen
Amazing.
breakdown, normal. Skin glycation with age, good. That's good. So that means you're not going to look particularly wrinkly, particularly quickly. Okay. No shock here. Skin ancestry, lighter. Risk of wrinkles with age, normal, but dermal sensitivity, high.
Does that mean like increased risk?
So it could be things like washing powder, creams.
Oh,
detergents,
Yes,
maybe
this
sun
is
as
true.
well.
This is true. This is very, very true. I can't wear certain perfumes or and use certain lotions. Interesting.
So let's look at your muscle health now. So myostatin related performance, you've got potential. Exercise induced muscle pain, low. So that means you should have to be going.
What was that, a bark?
That's Miska. It's not me getting excited about your muscle induced exercise level. Stress related muscle pain, normal. And Miska's very happy about that.
That means I can go hard.
Okay. So let's go through to muscle power. Where would you say you lie? Low, normal, or super Hulk power, above normal?
I think I have to work very hard at that. My sense is that when I don't work out really hard, I decline.
You've got above normal muscle power.
Oh my God, I love this so much.
Okay.
That's
Can you keep going have you got, when you're working out, do you need a lot of rest or do you feel you can keep on going?
No, I don't. I feel like they're a waste of time.
Okay, so that's, you've got above normal muscle stamina.
Is that what it says there?
Yep.
This is like the best day of my life. I love this.
Oxygen, VO2, you're normal. So you're probably not, you probably could run, but you're not built for it, maybe.
I don't feel like I'm built for it. I really, in fact, like with age, I used to run, and with age, I started hating it.
Okay. So recovery rise, you're normal. Muscle mass, normal. Injury risk, normal. Soft tissue inflammation, low. That's good.
Interesting.
So you're less likely to get that. Lean body mass, normal. Which, power to weight ratio. What do you reckon?
Power to weight ratio?
Yeah.
Does that mean, what does that mean?
So let's say you're doing let's say you're 55 kilos.
Oh. So how much can I?
Yeah. So based on your weight, would you say you can move a lot or a little?
I can move a lot.
So your power to weight ratio is in fact good.
This brings me back to when I started deadlifting.
Okay, so what do you think? Does weight training have a good effect on your weight? Do you find that, I'm not saying you need to, or anybody does, but if you were trying to lose weight, body fat, would you say that it's helped, not helped, or made some difference?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know about the weight. I know about my body composition.
Okay.
And weight training is very important to me.
Yep. Exercise effect on weight, good response. So weight training is good for you, as it is for, in fairness, most, as you know, all women should do it, but we won't get onto that. So it's a conversation for another day. So carbohydrate response is normal. Saturated fat response is poor. So that basically means that you need to, I'm sure, again, you've got a kind of Mediterranean kind of diet and so on. So you're probably okay with that. But basically try and avoid saturated fats. They're particularly not going to be great for good for you, and therefore could lead to other increased risks and so on. Unsaturated fats, which you're probably getting a lot of, very beneficial.
Interesting.
Protein response. What do you think to my amazing essential protein powders? Do you think you're going to get a good or bad or in between income?
The truth is, and I wanted to talk to you about this, is that I have this feeling like I need to start supplementing.
On protein and the vitamin D and the Bs and the omegas is 100% yes. Protein response, great response. So basically it's saying it's highly beneficial for you. And again, bear in mind, this is somebody who's not looking at whether or not you're exercising. So the fact that you are exercising, that is going to increase that.
Danielle, I feel like at the end of our conversation today, I'm going to have to like make such a massive order from Biosynergy. Okay, next.
Sugar response, highly increased response. So you need to get away from, I mean, again, refined straight sugar is not doing you any benefit. It's
You are really pointing out something really important to me. So you're saying that I don't respond well to sugar.
Yeah.
I don't.
So a highly increased negative response. So you,
yeah,
if that makes sense.
No. It's you're actually saying something so important to my life right now, this second, because like I have more of a sweet tooth now. Like I crave certain things. So like I'll crave something sweet, and then on the other end of the day, I'll crave something really, really sour. And when I crave, and I don't really eat sugar in my normal life, non-pregnancy life. And when I and now when I totally now I give in to my cravings without even no qualms about it. And when I do that, within an hour or so, I feel so bad, like shaky, sweats.
Yeah.
If I don't eat something, I'm probably going to pass out. And this is really important because you're saying like, yeah, this is the situation, and I really need to be careful.
Yeah. Then overeating sweet foods, normal. Bitter taste, normal. So you're probably leaning towards, you probably like savory stuff a bit more.
I do.
Snacking risk is normal, which is good. Metabolism, do you reckon you've got slow, average, or above?
Well, you did say that I have an increased risk for obesity. So I'm only because of that, I would say maybe it's slow, but
normal.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel in my life that it's normal. Okay, interesting.
So fat distribution, normal as well. Yo-yo diet is going to massively be negative to you. So I know that's not something you would do anyway, but for some people, you can go flip-flop around with your diet a lot and it doesn't have a long-term effect. For other people, if you're flipping from like low calorie deficit to calorie high back, so basically this yo-yo dieting, that can have a big negative effect. And in your case, that would do. So the fact that you're following a generally healthy, balanced diet rather than flipping between high and low, that's really good. And that's something you should continue with. Lactase doesn't seem to be an issue for you. So you can drink milk even if you don't think you should. Vitamin D deficiency, we talked about increased risk already. Vitamin A, average. Iron, blah, 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 blah. I think we've done a lot of this.
I was surprised about the iron.
Yeah. BCA, as we said, beneficial. Oh, both the dogs are going now. Let's go. So that is the main stuff. I mean, I could go like once the report, once you look at it yourself, what you'll see is it then goes into telling you which studies we've looked at, which genes we've looked at, which hormones are affected, and what the recommendations are. So at the moment, I'm looking at stress affecting sleep. We mentioned you were high risk. So what it's saying is we've looked at 4 particular genes to get this outcome. And therefore, what the recommendation is try having a tech break before going to sleep. Try and have food like a long time before you go to sleep. And also maybe eat things that are high in protein to help you go to sleep. So that's why I guess, there's that old mother's tale or wives' tale of having milk before bed helps you.
Oh, interesting. So basically, when I go in to look at the DNA kit, basically, I'm going to see the functionality, like what it means now for me to continue to live my life proactively, in so that I can benefit from a strong, healthy, sharp body. We are waiting for a moment for the dogs to to chill. I'm actually looking at the DNA report for the first time right now.
Okay, I'm mad. Sorry. Yeah, so when you get into the app, you can drill down into exactly what we've looked at and what the recommendation is.
Super, super, super interesting. This is can be really life-changing. This is like the future of medicine, like individualized medicine. And I feel I feel like this answers a lot of things for me on a personal level. So that can pertain to anybody.
Yeah,
like,
and particularly, if you've got clients, obviously it's very easy to take a one-size-fits-all approach to somebody's health and well-being, because you've got like general things that work, but it's understanding within the general. So for example, we talk about weight training being very beneficial, but you might have two people in a class, and one of them, like you's got good muscle power, good muscle power to weight ratio, good stamina, so they can do more reps, less rest, etc. Whereas if you try and train somebody who's genetically maybe not predisposed to that, they're not going to necessarily be able to keep up. Now, what it doesn't mean is that you can't overcome that. So through training, diet, etc., even if there's no reason why you couldn't become an Olympic runner, it's just going to be harder for you.
right.
So it's not saying you can't do something, it's just realizing that actually you're going to have to work a little bit harder and it might take you a little longer to get going.
Right. It's really a it's a strategy plan.
Yeah.
And it's very important to understand that it's not the DNA kit isn't coming over to you and saying like you're screwed here, here, and here.
Yeah.
But rather it's saying you're susceptible to this, and here's what you can do: A, B, and C. And that's amazing and very, very, very powerful, because I think people have stress and anxiety about specific things, kind of like what I feel after I have sugar. And then it raises so many questions, and I'm like, wow, why am I reacting like this? What's going on? And then you come over and you say, well, you actually have a sensitivity.
Yeah. And also, again, let's say we talk about metabolism. It might be, you have got a slow metabolism, and then that could explain why, if you're on a diet or a fitness program and your friend is doing better than you, in inverted commas, it could be, right. It's not the reason to get disheartened. It just means that you've got to double down and be a bit more patient with how quickly those results are going to happen.
Mm-hmm. This is fascinating. And I will be sharing the link to the DNA kit on the YouTube version of this and on the podcast page. And I think it's highly, highly beneficial, and people need to understand that this is available now. Wow.
The dogs, I don't know why I bring dogs to the office, but
you want to see my dog, who also can be very disturbing. I've got his blankets next to me, and there he is.
That's how I need mine to be.
Yeah. No, but he just happens to be relaxed right now. He just happens to be relaxed.
I'm surprised he's not reacting to ours, but there you go.
I feel like they hear me and they want to play with me, because dogs, see, what you don't have in the DNA kit is that dogs love me. That's what you don't have there.
Maybe that's the next, we'll have to start looking for that gene. I mean, what might be good as well is once you've had a look at the results in your phone, where obviously you've got the more detailed explanation, what the genes are, what the outcomes are, it'd be good to know if you've learned anything extra and what you're going to be doing as a result of this now, if anything.
Yep, absolutely. This is really cool. I feel like I just started a journey, and I'm really excited. I'm going to be flipping through the app, which, by the way, I did look in the app when I was downloading. Yeah, and it's very, very user friendly. So I'm excited to flip through it, and I will definitely report back. Maybe we'll have another conversation about it.
Yeah. And also the other thing is, don't forget, I can't remember if you've got like a watch or another kind of wearable, but if you do, you can connect that to the app as well. So you can get all your lifestyle data in there. And also you've got your air quality score in there as well. So again,
wow.
if you were a runner and you were thinking of going for a run and the air quality score was bad, you could say, maybe I'll go for a swim, or I'll take my Ventolin inhaler, or things like that. So it's got lots of practical things. And then also, assuming you've done the questionnaire, you also have recipes aligned to those DNA results that we've just spoken about. So I think there's 600 recipes in there, and also an exercise plan. So all of that's in there as well. So again, the idea is that, and it's all aligned to your DNA results. So if you're seeing the recipe plan, it'll take into account your gender, your age, your height, your weight, your activity level, and your DNA to give you how many calories you should be having per day, how you should be breaking those calories down, and what kind of meals you might want to eat.
Yeah. Wow. I'm really psyched to I have to get my hands on really good quality protein and creatine.
Can't imagine where you're going to get any from.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for this. This was an awesome conversation for me personally, and I think that a lot of people can benefit from this too. Thank you.
Fantastic. Listen, have a great workout Wednesday, and we'll chat soon.
Yeah, and hashtag make it happen.
That's it.
Bye.